Hey guys, James with websitefornoobs.com. See, there's a website right here. But for those of you guys who've been following along, we've actually been doing a lot of work on a website. Now what we're gonna do is I'm actually making this kind of a two-part session right here. This is gonna be our navigation bar. The first navigation bar we're actually gonna create by it's kind of like cheating, really. What we're gonna do is we're gonna upload some images and we're gonna overlay the other images to make navigation bar. It looks like it hovers pretty well. But we're going to use all images instead of actually coding stuff in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and upload, or we're going to go to our Dreamweaver. We're going to find their main nav, and we're going to go ahead and just go ahead and mess with this right here for now. Alright, so go put everything in design mode. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this nasty, ugly text right here. Alright, so before I created this video, I actually went through and I made a bunch of images. As you can see, a bunch of images that some of them are green, some of them are yellow, and the text actually is opposite color. So like this one's yellow background, green text, this one's green background, yellow text. Alright, so that's what's going to actually create the effect of the hover overlook. So from here we currently have a red background within our CSS file, but that's fine for now. What we're going to do is actually we're going to go ahead and select insert, we're going to go to image, and we're going to go ahead and select insert rollover image. And what we're going to do is we're going to name this one home, H-O-M-E. And our original image is going to be a home image that I created. Let's go find a JPEG. So home JPEG. And then the rollover image should actually be hover home. So find hover home, which is the yellow one. Our home page, we'll make that the alternative text. And then when we click on it, we're going to go ahead and make that go to our home page. And select OK. Now if you notice, we've actually got the home button that appears right here. Let's go ahead and select next to that, and let's do this again. So insert, image, roll over image, and we're going to make this one page 1. Original image is going to be our page 1, or P1 in this instance. So P1, then we're going to do hover P1 for the second one. Page 1, and this is going to go to our subfolder. Click OK. Go File, Insert, Image, roll over image, page 2, do the same thing. So what I'm doing here is I'm just uploading all these files. So the original image is going to be the one that's going to have the original background color. The rollover image, whenever we hover over, is going to be the yellow image. So let's go ahead and make the yellow image in there. So page 2. And that one will actually go to subpage, page 2. Let's do another one. Insert image, rollover image. This has to be page 3. Browse, find P1, because that's our first image. Let's go find our hover P1, or P3, correction. And we'll do page 3. We'll go ahead and select page 3 folder, and then HTML file. We'll go ahead and insert image, rollover image for the About Us. About Us. Let's go ahead and find About JPEG, then hover About. There we go. Hover About Us, and that's going to go to our subpage of About Us. And let's go ahead and insert one more for our Contact Us. The original image is going to be Contact Us, or Contact JPEG. Here we have hover contact. Contact Us, and then we'll go to our Contact Us subpage. Go ahead and select OK. Now as you guys see, this image actually doesn't span out all the way, but let's go ahead and let's take a look at it real fast. Preview this in Safari. We're going to save. And what's going to happen now is we've actually just created a bunch of rollover images, so every time we roll over it, it should change colors. So in order to fix this, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go ahead and upload a background image to the CSS portion of our navigation bar. So go find our main nav. Our background color is currently this guy, so let's go ahead and delete that guy out of there. And let's go to main CSS on the right hand side. Let's find main nav. Go to the fourth icon in. Pull this guy over a little bit so you can see it. And then we're going to go enter URL path. And we're going to actually, I made a single base bar that had the entire navigation bar laid out in it. Then we're going to go ahead and preview in Safari. Now if you look how I have this, the background image is not a hover image, it's just there just because, and it's going to help us line all of our images up. So what we got to do is we actually got to manipulate these buttons and pull them over. So let's start with the Contact Us button. So we have a Contact Us button right here. So if we click on it, it says width and height, pixels, all that jazz. Let's go ahead and what we're going to do is we already clicked around this. Let's get the entire image. And we are going to put a div tag around it. Let's go Contact Us, contact all the way up here. So here's the start of it, and here's the end. What we're going to do is we're actually going to press enter and get this in its own little section so we don't accidentally grab something else. So grab that guy. What we're going to do is we're going to insert a div tag around it. As we call contact. It's like okay. As you see, it actually moves down here. So what we need to do is we actually need to shorten up this base box in order to make it the same width as the image itself. So if we actually look, the width of this image is 197 pixels. So let's go ahead and copy that. Click on a little div tag here. Let's go ahead and go main CSS file. Under our main navigation, what we're going to do is pound. And then we're going to do, which one do we name that one? Let's go back real quick. We named it contact. So pound contact, opening and closing bracket. Then we're going to go ahead and press enter, type in the width, and we're going to paste our width in there. It'll let us. So I believe it's 197, and close it off. Click away from it. Source code, contact, there we go. Oh, it's 197px by the way. That's what I messed up on. So now we got an image, we got a little box around there, and now it's surrounding the contact us. So what we got to do is we actually move that contact us over to the contact us over here. So if you look at our hand side, main CSS, so contact, and let's go and put this guy in design mode and put it in live. So what we got to do is we got to move this guy over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down, find the third box in. Here's the position. We'll go ahead and make that absolute. Right. Now if you can see, it kind of pops over there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to move this box around. See, it went to the top now. See that? Bring it on down so it's over our navigation bar. And then we're going to change the position from the right to the left. So we're going to move it over and keep scrolling over until we actually get it about where we want it to be. And a little more. So roughly right in this general area, we want that button to be at. Alright, so next we're going to do the same thing for the About Us. And we're going to duplicate this process over and over and over again until we have completed getting all of our images where we want them to. So let's go ahead and separate all these guys out now. Click on the good thing to do is if you click on the closing tag of your link for these, it'll automatically highlight everything so you can go up there, press enter, and separate it out. Do that again, and there we go. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to surround each one of these with div tags. Let's take the second one, and this is the About HTML, so let's take that guy. div, and it automatically does wraparound. About. It's like, okay. Now let's do page 3. Div, wraps around. And then at P3, hide this guy. It's page 3 HTML, so let's go ahead and wrap it around. Give it an ID tag of. Now, what I just realized I just did, which is actually I shouldn't have done, what we can do is PB for this one, page Bravo. This one could be page Charlie, and this one could be page Alpha. You never want to use numbers themselves within your tags, within your div tags. So P Alpha, this is page Alpha, which would be page 1. We'll go numerical from there. And then we'll do home. Cancel, and we'll make that home nav button. Just because we've already used that one. So PA, so if we do a nav button on the other one, we'll go this one. PA nav button, PB nav button, PC nav button, about nav button. I want to change this to contact nav button. Right. So now let's go back to our CSS file. After we have contact, change that to nav button because that's what we change it to. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to duplicate this guy a couple times. So this one was about nav button. So we have PC nav button. So we copy this guy. PC, PB, PA. Change that to PA. And then we'll go ahead and change this one to home. So now, once we click off this, most of these images should all be sitting roughly in the same area. Take that live, take it off there. So if you look, all of our images kind of overlapping now. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with our main nav button first. So it's already that specific one. So if we come over here, just to make sure that you have it all correct, let's come back, highlight, copy, highlight, paste. And then since we're in live mode, and we know our page 2 is right there, page 1, all our jazz, let's go ahead and make sure that we have copied everything over correctly. PA button. PB navigation button. This one is PC nav button. This one is about us nav button. Then we have our contact nav button. So now, as we look, all of our images should be over here. So let's go ahead and click on the PC home button, nav button, and we're going to go ahead and adjust this. All right, so if we come over here to main CSS, find home nav button, and if we go down to our padding, and if we actually move this guy left and follow it along, let's put this in design mode. You see it following across the screen. So we're going to kind of get it over where the home button is currently at, right there. Alright, so now we go PA nav button. Do the same thing. Find PB. Do the same thing. PC, fold that guide across, and this image is a little choppy for some reason. I'm not exactly sure what to do with that later. And then here's our About Us. Alright, so now if we actually go through and take a look at this file preview, now we're getting a little issue here. See, all of our stuff's kind of off to the left. So I'm going to fix that. Let's go ahead and get rid of these padding areas. So sometimes when you use the padding, it actually does that. And I should probably have been using margins the entire time. But I was just kind of excited to get this video done, so let's go ahead and move this over margin-wise. Preview in Safari. And actually the margin works perfect, so kind of something I should have caught on the beginning, because padding actually determines how much padding left or right of a div tag you're going to have. So let's go ahead and pull this guy over here. Now if you notice, if I go too far with this, with the margin wise, it'll actually start crunching into the other button, which will help us align it correctly. Let's click on page 3. Get rid of that position padding. Let's go ahead and go to our margin. So this is simple stuff you might actually mess up on. I'm going to go ahead and put this tutorial up as this, showing me having to go back and fix all this because of the issues of actually me messing it up, because this is stuff that you might actually do yourself, and you might load up your page back, whoa, what'd I just do? I mean, I do this a lot, and there's a lot of times where I'll actually start editing a certain portion of a CSS file or something like that, and I'll actually mess up and not realize it until after I've got all the way done with it, and it actually causes more of a headache than anything. But you know, by doing this, by putting this video up like the way it is now, you might actually end up doing that at some point, and you're like, why is this doing this? Well, now you can think back to this video of how I messed it up. So now let's look at this. Now it looks correct. Alright, so as we hover over a navigation bar, we have our images, and they actually swap over as they're supposed to. Okay, so now the reason why we uploaded the image, the background image, is just like with the with the header and footer, the navigation bar, the background image that we cannot see now because our buttons are over it, will actually load up quicker than the buttons themselves. All right, so you actually see the whole navigation bar, and then these buttons will actually start popping up over the top of it, and we lay these buttons over the text itself, so you won't really notice that the secondary images are loading up until, because it will just cover up what's already there. So it actually works out pretty good. So you got yourself a little navigation bar now that actually works. So if we actually click on the home button, just take us to our home page. If you look on top, alright, and see, because we haven't saved it, it gives us content from nav ID. So let's go ahead and save our folder, or our entire file. Save all. Source code. File. Save all. Alright, and since we're actually trying to save to our entire folder and it's not saving to our entire website, let's go ahead and add an extra, like another X after the E here. Take off live mode, add an X after this E, and then let's go ahead and file. We'll save all. Now it'll ask us if we want to update all of our template files. Select yes, entire site, and then start. Close. Alright, now let's go ahead and preview this in Safari. Click off of it. Preview Safari. Now let's give it a test out again. So click on the home button, just take us to our home page, which is now updated with this new navigation bar that we just created. Page 1 should also be updated. So page 1. Oh, look at that. If you notice, what we just did is page 1 image background was loaded up for page 2. So for some reason, that's an issue. So we're on page 2 technically, but it's showing page 1. Then page 3 shows up correctly. When it goes to page 3, about us, goes to about us, make sure it's good, and contact us. So now we're going to go back and fix this image. So in the rush of getting this video done, somehow my second page 2 image has actually been uploaded as hover page 1. So let's actually change it to P2 because we already know in this file that it's named P2. And let's go ahead and add another Q or something to this edit thing. Click off of it. And now if you notice, whenever the template file is ready to be saved to update all the files, you'll get a little asterisk right there. File, save, update, and then let's go ahead and do entire site. Now let's go ahead and close this off. See if it is. Click off of this. Click Preview Safari. Let's hover over page 2, and now it's fixed. Look at that. Just like that, and it goes to page 2. So there you guys go. There's an easy, cheap, simple way of how to make a navigation bar, hover bar. That doesn't require you to do a bunch of coding and stuff like that. In the next video, what we'll do is we'll actually create the same similar navigation bar, actually, utilizing all the coding for creating navigation. So if you guys are looking to build something simple and you don't really want to get into all the coding, this is an easy way to do it. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you guys haven't been to the website for news website yet, please go check it out. Take a scroll around the page. Pretty much everything we do on this website, from the scrolling image on the main screen right here to our reviews, the review portion of our review sites. We're gonna walk through all this stuff eventually, along with making contact forms, and we're gonna go through all these tutorials over time. So please come to our website, take a look at it, throw us a like on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube video. It helps out a lot. All right, thanks.